Hello, everybody, and welcome to WDW Radio Live. Today is Wednesday, June 27th, 2012. I am Lou Mongello from WDW Radio, coming to you live from Disney's Old Key West Resort on a beautiful night here in Walt Disney World, helping to sort of bring a little bit of Disney magic to you wherever you are with the podcast, videos, live broadcast, books, audio guides, and much more. I want to welcome in tonight Tony Caggiano from Tony Caggiano. You're not really from anything, just nowhere. Tony from nowhere in particular, but he's been on the show before and been at some of our events with us. And usually, as you know, Tony and people in the box, we always like to talk about this week's Walt Disney World news in this live, interactive, two-way conversation. Thanks to all of you who are joining us live tonight in the box. If you're not watching it live, come by every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, over at wdwradiolive.com. So, Tony and box people, today's show and the topic, and there's really just going to be one, because I really want to sort of dig into this a little bit deeper, is not necessarily Walt Disney World specific. And recently we talked about Cars Land at a Disney California Adventure, and in the past, and even more so after visiting Cars Land and Buena Vista Street last week, I explained why every Walt Disney World fan needs to visit Disneyland. Well, now we're going to take that to a whole nother level, because now I'm going to explain to you why every Walt Disney World fan, why every Disney fan needs to visit Dubai. What?
You say so.
You need to visit Dubai because Disney has talked about for a while, and Bob Iger in the shareholders meeting just a couple of months ago talked about how Marvel was going to be coming to the Disney parks, not being very specific. Well, now it is official that Disney is about to introduce Marvel characters into a Middle East theme park. They plan to introduce the Avengers, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thor, the Incredible Hulk, and the Silver Surfer at a theme park, really for the first time since they acquired the franchise in 2009. And it's expected to open in late 2013 in the United Arab Emirates with superhero-themed attractions, restaurants, amen, and shops. It's going to be an 8-acre indoor mini theme park that's going to be part of a $5 billion City of Arabia entertainment, commercial, and residential area over in Dubai Land. And today, some concept art was released for what we're going to see in this full-size Marvel theme park. Now, if you think back to 2007, Disney back then originally announced that they were going to build a Dubai theme park that was supposed to open in 2011, but with the changes in the economy, that and a number of other projects that were set by other groups like Universal Studios and Lego and SeaWorld had planned to be built out there, didn't come to be. Well, now they're going to bring all their sort of library of superheroes out to Dubai in a park that's developed by AAG. So they released today, and I'm going to scroll through a little bit here, some of the concept art that you can see, and we'll talk a little bit about what was released today by the Chimera Design Company. And with the release, it said that there'd be, quote, new technology and unparalleled visitor experiences, which will be the hallmark of this theme park, creating a new standard for theme parks around the world. Now, a lot of the Marvel superheroes are going to have their own attractions, including the Fantastic Four, Hulk, Iron Man, X-Men, Silver Surfer, of course, Spider-Man, I think, which is going to be very different and probably obviously much more modern than the Spider-Man themed attractions that's over at Universal Studios. Brady McDonald of the LA Times actually was quoted as saying that off-site testing has already begun on 3 of the attractions, one of which is known as Flying with Spidey. Another one is going to be the Fantastic Car and X-Men Danger Room. There's going to be 4 lands. There's going to be the City of Superheroes, Oasis of Magic, Marvel's Mythic Mountain, Nick Neighborhood, and Crater Lake, which is going to be at the center of the park. The concept art we're looking at now shows a sort of a vertical roller coaster that seems to go underwater. This is not the first time. There's another one out in Dubai like this. There's sort of a hole that's created in the water, so it looks as though you do actually go right into the center of the lagoon there. Here's some concept art featuring, if you've seen the Avengers, a very familiar superhero, that is Hawkeye. Other concept art here. This is the Flying with Spidey attraction, where you can see he is fighting Doc Ock, the Green Goblin, all those classic classic villains in there as well too. And here, another unnamed piece of concept art shows Electro and a vehicle that is very similar to the Spider-Man attraction over at Universal Studios, but again, probably something that's going to be very different. This is a Fantastic Four area of the City of Superheroes. Here is a little bit of the top-down concept art, and one of the really impressive things that we saw here too was the Stark building for an Iron Man themed attraction as well. Now, not all the concept art like this had a name or a sort of a description attached to it, but they did also have what is right now a preliminary view of the park. Now, I'm watching the chat room as this is going on. Disney is saying the details in the parks in Dubai rival that of Tokyo Disney Sea. Scott has been there before. We hear from a lot of people about just how well themed, how well detailed Tokyo Disney Sea is. Other people are saying they'd be surprised if it actually gets built. Again, because this is not the first time. This is not the first go-round. Now, as a Walt Disney World fan, as a theme park fan, as at least for me, I am a Marvel fan. I'm a superhero fan. I'm wearing my Spider-Man underoos. That may have been too much information for all of you. But so for you as a Disney theme park fan, how do you react to the news of Disney building a Marvel adventure park in Dubai?
I'm really excited about it. I wish it was a little bit closer, but it maybe gives you another reason to go see a city that I've marveled at. I mean, you look at some of the things going on over there; it's pretty incredible. The buildings going on, the Palm, the islands that they're building. So
I mean, there's a lot of money being invested out there.
An absurd amount of money, actually.
And when you talk about things like the Palm, they create an island to build these massive hotels and these resort structures for visitors who are not just from the UAE, but are really there's Ferrari World.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming from around the world, and Dubai is becoming sort of one of those new destinations that's now becoming on people's radar again. Safety and security not really an issue now because of how how vigilant they are about security and because of the types of attractions they're building out there.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I was never a comic book fan growing up, but with the Avengers and the Iron Man franchise, the Fantastic Four, I'm a huge fan of the films.
So people are saying bus tour to Dubai. I don't know about a bus tour, but so, as somebody who has kids, we have kids about the same age, is this something that legitimately goes on your radar saying, you know what, can we go out to Dubai? I mean, is this sort of a trip you would now consider taking specifically to see it's not a Disney theme park per se, but it's a Marvel theme park?
I might. Well, for me, it's a little different. My wife's South African, so I go to South Africa every couple of years, and that's one of the places that the flights stop over. So this might give me a reason to fly through Dubai and stay for a couple of days. It is a long way to go, but from the concept art, it looks pretty amazing. Right,
and so people are talking about, again, what does it cost for a plane ticket out there? Some people are saying it's not on the radar at all, while other people are saying, yeah, this is something that really gets me excited because here in Walt Disney World, we don't have a Marvel-themed area, because of the licensing with Universal Studios down the street. Unless that changes, and look, that very well may change at some point, the only other place domestically that a Marvel place would get built would be out in California. So you wonder, this is a much farther ride out than California would be, but is it something that now all of a sudden for those of us who are sort of big Marvel fans, you see the concept art for this Fantastic Four building and this Tony Stark building, it's hard to see here on the small screen, but again, it's early concept art, but this is the kind of stuff we see. Again, it's not coming from Disney, but it's associated with it that gets you really kind of jazzed up for what the technology is. It's groundbreaking technology where there is a lot of money that can be invested out there for something like this.
Yeah, as much as anything, I think I'm interested in seeing the technology that they're going to bring into this. Because obviously it's a few years away, so the park will effectively have things that they're barely on the drawing board now. It just started.
Right, and so
it'll be next generation.
Interesting in the chat room, people are saying, well, they're not really marketing this to U.S. audiences. You don't know, who it's going to be marketed to. Are these plans or is this a proposal? My understanding is these are actual real plans. The plane is in flight. This is actually supposed to really get built. Again, I think they're saying opening in late 2013 as part of this $5 billion. Look, when you're investing $5 billion in this city of Arabia, you could probably get things done a little bit faster. So Pete Altanese is saying, I hope it's so successful that they build one out there. Disney probably realizes there would be a financial boom for them. Again, there's a lot of money, and tourism is very, very high out in that section of the world. It is very much off our radar. We think, especially us as Disney fans, we think, California, Orlando, maybe Paris, hopefully someday, someplace like Tokyo or Hong Kong or Shanghai. So somebody's saying that economy seats from Delta from Charlotte, North Carolina to Dubai is over $2,000. That may be the thing where...
Yeah, I think that airfare, I've seen flights through Dubai that were $1,000. So I'm sure it depends on when you're going. Just like anything, you have to look. This is something you need to plan farther out. But I'm also anxious to see, is it on the radar of folks who are in the box who are in Europe maybe? Because obviously it's within striking distance, and more so than here. And I know that a lot of the Dubai business comes from Europe.
Right, and if you're a Disney fan, not necessarily a Marvel fan or a superhero fan, does this maybe not fall onto your radar at all? Because if you have, kids you have 2 daughters, maybe they're more interested in princesses than they are in Doc Ock and Hawkeye. Maybe this is not as exciting as it is for 43-year-old guys like me and you who are like, I need to go to the Electro ride.
Well, I think thanks to the film franchises, I think it'll certainly appeal to teenage or even tweens. I mean, I know your kids saw the Avengers and loved it. So as these movies come out and more people are exposed to it, even more so than the comic books, I think you're going to see more interest in the parks.
Right. And look, who knows? Maybe this is sort of a test bed for the technology. It's a test bed for the reception to these types of attractions. And who knows what might come here domestically. If they're successfully done out there, they're built, they ride well, guests are really enjoying it. Maybe this is something that does eventually come to the United States, whether it's out in California, maybe somehow getting out here to Orlando, or maybe somewhere else.
Yeah, it's first step towards getting it here, maybe.
Because you see those concept art, you wonder about the technology. Again, I think this is it comes from the Chimera Design Company. This is not Walt Disney Imagineering Designs. And it's going to be developed by a company called AAG. So it's not necessarily being built by, it's the Al Ahly Group and Marvel Entertainment, which is the partnership. So there's not really talk right now about how WDW is going to be involved in there. And so again, we're watching sort of the chat room go by. There seems to be some curiosity, some trepidation, whether it's cost, whether it is what is that area of the world like? Is it safe to bring your family? What else is going to be there? It's one of those things, too, that, well, hey, this is something that's interesting to us. What else may be out there to now maybe put this on the radar? I'd love to continue to hear from people. We're gonna stay some more in the chat here, but whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening to the audio in the iTunes feed, I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you feel about this Marvel Adventure family entertainment mini theme park coming out to Dubai. Is it something now that interests you? Is it maybe something that, hey, when it comes out, you do want to take a look at seriously or considering, or is it completely not on your radar? And why? What is it about it that appeals to you, doesn't appeal to you? Or again, I think a lot of us would say, hey, we'd love to see this come domestically to one of the parks as well. That being said, you can leave your comments right here below in the chat or on the WDW Radio blog. We're going to stay here and chat some more. Be sure and join us every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, over at WDWRadioLive.com. Also, be sure and visit the website at WDWRadio.com for our blog, our videos, which come out every week, free discussion forums, and lots more. Also, speaking of going to fun, exotic places, I feel like singing the Love Boat theme here. Don't forget, too, about some of our upcoming events, including our evening at the American Adventurers Club, Friday, September 28th, 2012. Great way to kick off what's going to be a fun weekend. It's Epcot's 30th anniversary. There is the Tower of Terror 10-mile run. It's the first weekend of food and wine, and we've rented out the American Adventure Pavilion for an evening unlike anything you've ever seen. We have a private dinner and an evening with the Historical Society of American Adventurers. You can visit WDWRadio.com, click on the Events tab to find out more information and get your tickets before they sell out. And speaking of cruising to exotic locations, don't forget about our cruise November 4th through the 8th with Richard M. Sherman of the Sherman Brothers. He's going to be sharing his stories and his music and his magic and hugs, and potentially, if I can get him on, a ride on the aqueduct with us as well, too. You can find everything over at WDWRadio.com. Also, be sure and follow me on Twitter. I'm at Lou Mongello. Facebook, also, Lou Mongello. You can subscribe over there. Tony Caggiano, thank you for joining me. We're going to go get a mojito and hit the hot tub and hit the pool. Right up, and here come the kids. So with that, We're going to get out of here. Here come the kids. Come in and say hi, because we're just leaving.
My new sneakers and I got a glitter up. Dad, look what I got.
Box people.
That's my leg.
Stop it.
Daddy.
Box people, I'll see you next week.
Look at my new flute. Come on, out of there. Dad, look.